Rio spent $15 billion on the Olympics. Today, most venues sit empty. After the closing ceremony ends and the athletes go home, a city's left holding the bill. Those gleaming stadiums, pools, and athlete villages, they were built for a 2-week event. The problem is simple: they don't disappear after the games do. A swimming complex that hosted thousands becomes a building with massive electricity costs and no tenants. That's when the real economic story begins, and it's not pretty. Think of hosting the Olympics like renting a fancy venue for a wedding. You pay thousands upfront to rent it for one night, but what if you had to own the building forever? Cities do exactly that. They build infrastructure, roads, transit lines, hotels, betting that tourism and business will justify the cost long term. Sometimes it works. Most times it doesn't. The venues become albatrosses, expensive to maintain, impossible to fill. Athens hosted the 2004 Olympics. Today, many of those venues are partially abandoned or repurposed at a fraction of their original cost. Beijing's water cube, built for 2008, now relies heavily on government subsidies to stay open. Rio's Olympic Park, opened in 2016, faced years of deterioration before recent redevelopment efforts. The pattern's consistent. Initial euphoria gives way to the hard math of ongoing operations. So why do cities keep bidding? Because the upfront promise looks incredible on paper. Jobs during construction, global attention, a shiny new sports infrastructure. But those jobs are temporary. Once the cranes leave, so do the workers. And global attention lasts about as long as the opening ceremony. The long-term costs: staffing, utilities, maintenance, security, fall onto local budgets that already struggle with schools and roads. Some cities have found creative solutions, converting Olympic villages into residential housing, turning athlete dormitories into universities or corporate offices. But these require initial planning, something many host cities skip in their rush to build. The venues designed for one specific sport often can't adapt. A velodrome built for cycling doesn't easily become anything else. The real cost isn't just the initial construction bill. It's decades of operating costs borne by residents who may never use these facilities. A city's tax revenue gets diverted to keep a stadium heated and lit when those resources could go elsewhere. That's the hidden legacy most Olympic coverage ignores. The games themselves last 16 days. The economic hangover, that lasts for years. Which brings us back to the core question: is hosting worth it? The answer depends on whether a city can fill those venues after the athletes leave. If tourism booms, if local teams use the stadiums, if the infrastructure becomes genuinely useful, yes. But that's rare. Most Olympic host cities end up with expensive monuments to a 2-week event, paid for by residents who foot the bill long after the world's attention moves on. That's the economic legacy nobody celebrates during the opening ceremony. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research. Subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden economics reshaping our cities, because understanding the real costs is how we make smarter choices about the future. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and is not financial advice. Always do your own research.